Hello, and welcome to They Bleed Pixels. My name is Gnome, and I will be playing this game for all of you. As we saw in the opening cutscene, our protagonist, unnamed girl, has joined Lafcadia Academy for Troubled Young Ladies, for reasons unknown. So let's get to it. Our tutorial here on Kicking and Stabbing, a young lady's guide to the fighting arts with a short digression to the occult use of save sigils, has a wonderful name, but we'll be skipping it. We'll just jump straight into the prologue and get right to the meat of the game itself. So we found a bleeding book inside of a library, which turned us into some sort of monster girl with claw hands. And that's our plot. So, They Bleed Pixels is a 2-button game. We have jump and we have attack. The attack button is context sensitive, but the jump button is always just jump. And if you stand still, you will create save sigils. As you can see, we can use the attack button to also juggle enemies in the air, and we must use it to tear through these webby wall things. These little red dots we're collecting are blood droplets. The more blood we get, the more we fill up the meter in the top left, which, as it says checkpoint ready right now, makes its purpose obvious. Getting enough blood will let us place our own checkpoints throughout the level, so we decide basically which sections are good to where we want to save our progress, basically. Progress works a lot like Super Meat Boy and other hyper-lethal platformers of the modern era, where you respawn instantly at your most recent checkpoint, at the tap of a button, which is nice. That upper path, as we saw, had bomb imps, which are a new enemy type, although I say new in a relative sense since there's the second one. The first type, over here, are the Shamblers. We have seen a lot of them. We will see a lot of them all game. They're fairly tough, but they're slow, and their main problem is that they can block platforms and ledges. They'll get in your way by body blocking you as much as anything. They'll attack you if you stay too close. But they aren't a major threat. That said, I can't kick these guys into the spikes here because of the little ledge in the way, so I had to kick them up first, and then juggle them into the spikes. Collecting blood fills up our checkpoint meter, and these blobs fill up quite a bit. But the other way to get blood for the checkpoint meter is to kill people violently. The bigger your combo, the more blood you get. Oh, I got a little reckless there. But the more fancy of a way you kill an enemy, the more blood that they give you. Which in turn rewards you with a sooner checkpoint. Which I should have placed up the first time. I already had that, but I didn't for some reason. Ow. This room is giving me a lot more trouble than it probably should. However, it is our first page. The main collectible in this game are the pages of the book. There are 6 in every level, and I will be collecting all of them throughout this playthrough. And it is the main sub-objective of the game, really, aside from, just beating the levels and beating the game. There's also a bonus you can do called Grim Harvest, where you kill every single enemy in a level. Now, enemies usually take a little while to kill, and some of them are in weird places and they can be hard to reach, so I will not be getting Grim Harvest on every level. That said, when it's feasible, I will be sure to destroy enemies, because it's fun and it looks good. This game is gorgeous. Let's take a moment to admire this beautiful background, So the book took us, after transforming us into a monster girl, it took us to this weird dream realm of floating islands. We've got a moon back there. It's kind of nice looking. Not a lot to it though, but it's nice. Ow. Sometimes you can't always, in these narrow quarters, you can't kick an enemy up, which is by far the easiest way to deal with the Shamblers. Kick them in the air and juggle them. There's 2 pages in a row right here, one up top, which is easy to miss because you can't even see it really, and then one down below, which is right on the main path, so that one's obvious, that one's easy. Enemies can also knock each other around a little bit if you push one into the other. I was hoping to kick this guy off the cliff, but I had to do it myself. Let's set a checkpoint before we move on. No need to get careless. The drop attack actually does more damage based on how far you drop, so I instantly killed that guy. The Shamblers are actually fairly tough. They have the most HP of any of the enemies in the game. Oh, I shouldn't have jumped at that bomb. That was silly of me. Now, the technique I did there is called the Exploding Fist, and it's wonderful. The bomb imps are an endless source of delight for me, because you can do so much with them. Oh, this isn't a place I should be. I wanted to kill these guys, but I shouldn't have gone in the middle of all of them, for obvious reasons. So, as we can see in the bottom right there flashing, since we died after getting a page, we lost it. You have to survive getting pages. Ah, don't fall in the spikes, me. These spikes are going to be the death of me. Probably many times. Oh, almost jumped right into that one, which would have been the death of me. If we're playing smart, we should be using these to our advantage instead of getting killed by them. Far and away the easiest way to deal with any enemy in the game is to throw it into spikes. Spikes are your friend in that regard. Even if, say, they guard the way to the last page. Ow. That book that we can see is the end of the level, but our last page is right above it, so we should get that first. The objective, the only way to leave the dream that we find ourselves trapped in, that was foolish of me. The only way to leave this dream we're trapped in is to get the book, so that is what we're looking for. Now, I did set a checkpoint up here last time, and I'm not setting one up here this time, because I don't want to have to make this fall down every single time. So let's open this gate, and we'll set a checkpoint on the other side. You can't actually open gates with your hands, you must use your feet. Claw hands cannot operate machinery. Ow. I wouldn't have been hit by that saw blade if I hadn't jumped. The bomb wasn't close enough to hurt me, but it was close enough to push me. And I jumped, and I got pushed into the saw blade. Now these long spikes, this is our first time seeing them, and it won't be the last. If you fall on them, it's instant death, for you and the enemies. But you can go through them from the sides without any threat at all. They're completely safe in that regard. Whereas these little spikes here do 1 damage every time you hit them. They are not instant death, but they can stun lock you. So as you can see, we did get Grim Harvest and the pages found for this level. And there's also bonuses for losing no lives and using no save sigils. But I'm never going to be getting those. I won't get no lives lost because I die a lot, I'm not that good. And I won't... Oh,